So 1 month ago, this is where we started with our fall overseed. And 1 month later, this is where we are now. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about fertilizing, how you fertilize. There's tons of ways to do it, but I'm going to kind of just go over like how I fertilize. It's a little bit of a safer way to do it, and it gives smaller doses of nitrogen to the lawn, so the lawn's able to use more of the fertilizer you give and you have less runoff. So before we start with our fertilizer, if you've never done this before, you first got to figure out the total area you're working with. So to start, just take your yard, do the length of your yard times the width of your yard. So my yard, it's about 130 feet by 180 feet. So my total square footage of total yard space is 23,400 square feet. Just kind of a rough estimate anyway. Now, you have to take measurements of like what structures do not need fertilizer. So what are the non-lawn areas? So I just kind of just rough length times width of your house and maybe like some of your surrounding landscaping and subtract out your driveway, kind of estimate what sidewalks might be. Mine's about 3,500 square feet of non-grass area. So my total area, and then this is just estimating, but it's 19,900 square feet of lawn. And just to make it easy on myself, I just call it 20,000. And that's really, 20,000 is a good number for me for the bags of fertilizer I buy and the math that I use. So when it comes to fertilizer, I don't go too overboard on what I buy. In general, the more expensive fertilizers you buy are just going to be like better on their particle sizes, or their different coatings are going to have like some little, their claim to fame, like why their fertilizer is better. But in the end, it's all just NPK. It's nitrogen, phosphorus, and it's potassium. Nitrogen is your food, and then the phosphorus and potassium are just kind of like nutrients to help with like root growth or grass blade strength. Those will kind of be based on your soil sample, like how much of those you need. I don't really need a whole lot of those, so I focus on nitrogen at the beginning of this fall. So when we look at the analysis, this is going to give us how much nitrogen in our bag and the other stuff you got too. So this is a 32-pound bag, and it has 20% nitrogen inside the bag. The bag is 32 pounds. You do the decimal place to get 20%, so 32 times 0.20. That gives you 6.4 total pounds of nitrogen in this bag. So this is where I kind of begin to do it different. So the bag says covers 10,000 square feet. If you want to use this bag to cover 10,000 square feet, you would do 6.4 for your nitrogen content divided by 10. You're assuming the 1,000 square feet, and it's going to give you 0.64 pounds per 1,000 square feet. I'm going to do things different. I'm going to apply this one bag over 20,000 square feet. So in that case, I'll do 6.4 divided by 20, which is going to give me 0.32 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So generally speaking, with your grass, you probably should apply 0.6 to 0.8, maybe up to a pound of nitrogen per application. But the higher you get with your nitrogen, the closer you're getting to that point where you could possibly burn it. So by doing this in a little bit of a dosed way, I'm safer when I place it down, but I'm also avoiding that washout, like if I put it down and we get a huge rainstorm. So for this fall turf food, I'm going to put down one bag, and I'm going to space it out like 2 weeks, and I'll put down my second bag. So over a month, I'll put down 0.64 pounds of nitrogen over a month's time, broken into 2 doses though. After this 1 month is up, where I put those 2 bags down, I got these Scott's Pro Lawn Fertilizers, these little bags. That fall turf food, that's like $15 a bag, so I'm going to spend like $30 for that 1 month. These things go for like, I think I found these for $5.99, so $6 a bag. I'm going to finish the year out using these little bags, and I'm going to do them even slightly different, but you've probably heard of like a nitrogen blitz. I'm going to use these like a nitrogen blitz. So these little bags weigh 14.5 pounds each, and each one contains 26% nitrogen. So each bag has a total nitrogen content of 3.77 pounds, kind of like what we talked about. I'm going to take one bag at a time, 3.77 pounds over 20,000 square feet. So I'll be putting down 0.18, goes out many decimal places. Just call it 0.2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. So I'm going to give one of these bags of fertilizer to the grass once a week up until the grass begins to slow down on its growth, like it's getting ready to go dormant. So that'll happen around Halloween-ish, maybe. This is a different kind of year, so we might go further out. But I'm going to give this up until the grass no longer wants it, basically. That way I'm not wasting any nitrogen and giving it every week. If a huge thunderstorm comes through, washes everything away, hey, it's not a big deal. I'm going to put down more fertilizer the next week in a small dose, And then when it's all said and done, I should be in the area of 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of nitrogen put down for this fall season. And then when you go to apply this to your lawn, always make sure, don't just go one direction the whole time. Alternate your directions. Make sure you keep your spacing equal. Pay attention to how your spreader throws it. That way you don't end up with you don't want stripes in your yard where the grass grows greener, or like a checkerboard kind of pattern. And then you can see my little stripes kind of going down the yard and across the yard. So now that fertilizer's done, grass will start getting a little bit greener, start making more growth. Now we can get into some stripes. So next video we'll get into striping. This channel is called For the Love of Stripes, so we need to start striping this yard. Thanks for watching.